Log him in.
Logging in. Ready when you are.
Logging it.
Right, it says it's recording.
Okay.
It looks fine. Okay,
Alright, I'm on the page.
I've actually gone live. I've gone live now. I pressed the button.
Yeah.
There we go. Right.
Who put the new kid in charge?
The name's all right. Everything's going. Mic's on. Audio's going.
Who's Mike? Hello.
We have a mic.
Mic. Everyone's got a mic.
Mm-hmm.
We're in. We're live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Just let people dribble on in. Dribble.
Yes.
All right.
Is that an instruction?
Dribble. Yeah, go on. Bet you won't. Yeah, go on. Just dribble.
It's a shame. I quite like this jumper. Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, right. All right. We give people a few minutes and enjoy this wonderful shot of tea.
What on earth is that?
That is,
That is a potion.
yeah. Yeah, it's going to make me levitate midway through the stream. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's already going through the stars.
This is powdered Turkish tea.
Very nice.
Very
What?
nice, yeah.
Like matcha.
No.
Oh.
It's like crack.
Is it like a green
It's very,
powder?
like fizzy tasting.
Mm. So like the Turkish delight powder.
No, that would be
Yeah,
if you
that'd
had
be
that
good.
in like. Oh, that would be very nice. That'd be like
Mm.
icing sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot how good the actual stuff was until I think you brought some back from holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, Turkish delight. We got it from there. There's a corner shop in Bournemouth, somewhere near Blue Line Studios. They do actual Turkish delight and actual baklava, didn't they? Baklava. That was quite good. Very nice.
Baklava.
I don't know if it's baklava or baklava.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's baklava. I did both.
I
Hold on. That's not right.
just
Anyway,
avoid.
let's get. Go on, sorry.
I was gonna say I just avoid it because I can't pronounce it, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, where's your baklava?
Never have to order it ever. Right, let's get this underway, ladies and gentlemen. This one tonight should hopefully be quite a good episode for all you sort of budding artists out there, any musicians on the rise, anyone who's trying to do their own thing within the music industry. This one hopefully will be really good for you. So we've got Josh Robinson on from LMS UK. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very well, boys. I'm excited to see you again and to talk all things music.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. So the format today, Callum will have a bunch of questions. I'll interject with a few questions. Aaron, hopefully, will have a few too. But Callum, I'll hand over to you, sir.
Okay, we're going to start off with the absolute biggest question. What is LMS UK?
Local music scene. So we started 8 years ago. 8 years this month, guys. My God, 8 years ago.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So we started up when I would be backstage at festivals, and I promise you, it started because I had a little camcorder, and I'd run to security, and I'd be like, "I've got an interview with Craig David in a minute. You need to let me through in 2 minutes." And honestly, 80% of the time it worked.
I think I'll have to try that
What's
now.
the worst? What's the worst that could happen? They say no. So I printed my own T-shirt, had our old logo on, had staff on the back. And then those bigger artists would recommend us, the Blossoms, the Amazons, Don Broco back in the early days, which was fantastic. And then you start getting invited to these nice places. But what I realised was that, you know, these hugely, lots of money behind them, they had big teams behind them. And I was thinking, there's so many good independent artists that are genuinely more talented. I was genuinely looking at like, even just some pub shows and looking at artists and thinking, they are unbelievable. You get those gems and you're like, well, they're doing everything themselves. They're trying to be their own manager, agent. They're trying to book gigs, write music, record. Like, it was just, you're never going to be able to reach your full potential with that. And that's how we were created. And we've got a real vision here that we want to be the best of what we do, which is musician social media management. And that's why we provide the big community, which you guys know well on Discord.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's fantastic. So any sort of budding musicians out there, if you are looking for help with your social media, this is where we get ours through LMS UK at current, and it's going fantastically well, I would suggest. So do check them out.
Yeah, there's always things you just never think of. Or we would never think of doing. which always just get suggested as in like, oh yeah, it's obvious,
Yeah.
but without being told, you don't notice certain things other content creators and other musicians.
Yeah, man. I
It's
mean, I
one
don't
of
know about
them
you
where,
guys.
like,
I've gone there. Sorry.
it excites me how much it changes, but it's also frustrating at the same time. I mean, we do training every Monday night tonight just to stay on top of the algorithms and the trends, so we can bring that look at the data from our artists and put that for our musicians. So at times, the best ideas are so simple, and you're like, oh, God, I should have thought of that, but actually, it's constantly changing. It's a constant moving target, which I think for me I need because I'd get bored otherwise. And the fact it's always updating is quite, yeah, I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'd say probably on behalf of a lot of musicians, it's not really something we tend to do. I'm personally not the biggest consumer of social media. I prefer to avoid all the doom scrolling and that if possible. But staying on top of how social media is working and being able to market yourself is imperative. But it's really hard to sort of focus on that and also write songs and also try self-improvement when it comes to instrumentation, songwriting skills, and also obviously then touring around the country, getting in all the right rehearsal spaces, and trying to then on top of that work out social media is a bit of a nightmare. So it is very nice to have someone to help with that.
Yeah, and like visually, the way I describe it is, when you play your first few shows and there's more people on stage and in the crowd,
Yeah.
we're that person who comes right to the front and starts clapping.
Mhm.
And that's really how I visualize it, is from that first show where you've got a man and a dog watching compared to your latest one where you've got hundreds of people in front of you. We want to be there each step of the way, and it's so important that our hiring process, the people have the same values. So the team that we work with are just brilliant, and I think the two key words at LMS UK are transparency. We're very transparent in expectations and what we do, and trust. There's got to be a level of trust there, and with that you get progression, and that's why musicians are with us, and that's what we do. But as you said, it's how can an artist perform the best music they possibly can, written, recorded, if they've got to worry about all these other things? So let's at least put the connections and the network in place and give that team to assist with that. And what you'll get is better music, but also better promotion. And I guess so many people say, I hate social media, I hate social media. And I understand that, I really, really do. But when you think about the music industry, it hasn't really changed much in 50 years, right? You perform the best music you possibly can. You try and get it heard by the audience that you think are going to like it. That's not changed. It's just the different channels which we're now using. Before, radio was absolutely mental. It was the biggest, whereas now it would be social media. It's keeping up with that, and it can be really overwhelming at times. And I think that's something that people do struggle with.
And the few things to pick up from that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about as well is how well you guys, for us, when it comes to building that trust model, we don't as a band just blindly trust. So something you guys have done really well is provided a really data-driven approach, showed sort of proof in the pudding, if you will, of seeing where our statistics are improving when it comes to engagement, when it comes to also getting us regularly posting, because it's a discipline that we've lacked up until recently, where we've worked alongside you guys. So I personally would like to say, I found that really useful. I'm very data driven in my work outside of music. So having that sort of direct feedback on a weekly basis and then on the monthly reporting structure is really useful. And it's something a lot of musicians would never probably think about, that I think you guys put a really good magnifying glass over, and would be worth, the guys watching now, start thinking about your data online, because it's the kind of thing eventually, if you are looking into taking this seriously, labels will be looking at all of that on the back end of your social media sites. And it's not something you might have had a look, but you've probably not paid much attention to the trend analysis of it. So it's worth learning about that.
Data doesn't lie. This is what I say. This is what I say to people. Anyone can come at you in this music industry and throw opinions at you and go boom, boom, boom. Data doesn't lie. It's factual. It's there, and I think that's really, really key in terms of navigating. People make up situations in their head and the way they think, but actually in paper in front of you, you can't really argue it. And it's why I've always like, my mentors gave me 2 bits of advice and I ignored both of them. So the first bit of advice they said to me was, put artists down on a year contract or a 2-year contract. And I just said, why? If they're enjoying what we do and it's rolling monthly, they won't want to leave. why would not do that? So we have to prove that value, and it keeps us pushing on to, we call it celebrity service internally in the business. So we want every artist to come in and go, wow. And again, to visualize that, it's that whole thing of, if Alex Turner walks in behind me now, am I going to be the same as if I was with, a pub artist? We genuinely treat every artist like a celebrity, and that's our thought process. And the other bit of advice guys they gave me was, don't give shares out in your business. Keep them all. And as you guys, very well know, I've given shares to Adam and Catherine because they make LMS UK great. What they do for musicians and artists globally is absolutely second to none. And I just ignored them. I said, I'm going to do it anyway.
Nice. Got to pave your own way. I'll be back in just 2 seconds, chaps. Carry on, please.
No worries, we can carry on. Aaron, have you got any questions? Or
yeah, I was going to say, like, I suppose obviously going, from sort of backstage stuff to having this big company, did you find that your approach naturally changed, or was there certain things that you had to sort of pin down for yourself? And I suppose it was more discipline and etc.
Yeah, I guess the main point that I say, like, the big artists we work with, some of them are phenomenal, and I genuinely really enjoy working with them. Others are a pain in the ass. So to get like one story or one bit of content out, you're talking with 10 of their team members, you're sending 30 emails back and forth. And what I found over the last 8 years is, if I get the results I get for the big artists, for an independent, it's a career. It's not just, it's another big act, they've got 10,000 more followers. You do that for an independent artist, that's a future, that's a career, and they're nicer to work with and they're more grateful. So I found myself enjoying more and more. Like, so many people say to me, they're like, you can work with the big acts, why work with the small ones? And a really selfish point of view, I enjoy it more. To be really that clear cut and precise, and seeing an artist come to LMS here, leave 3 years later here, is the best satisfaction we have. And there's some artists have gone on boys to be signed by big labels and big managers and booking agents, and they've gone to the label. No, we've worked with these guys, we trust them, we're bringing them on with us. And I think that's the biggest pat on the back we get. And it's becoming more and more regular, which is something that, I'm very grateful for.
That's great stuff, yeah.
It was great.
He's back.
Back.
Yeah, so
when would you say is a good time for a band to start looking into management? Would it be like a straight away, or is it, before a bigger release?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and it's different for everyone. I think the first thing an artist needs to do is they need to go out and they need to learn their craft. They need to learn mix and mastering. They need to learn the recording shooting, to learn the marketing. And I think LMS UK, as you boys know, okay, we do it, but we teach you along the way. It's not just, right, we're doing everything. We make sure you have at least a basic level of understanding, and you guys definitely do. So when you're having those talks with managers, you know what you're talking about. I think the best time to look at management, and this is a clear cut for me and how I visualize it, is once you've got 1,000 engaged fans. If you've got 1,000 fans who are commenting, sharing, they're turning up at gigs, they're buying merchandise, usually 1,000 of them, I would say at that point you're very attractive to a manager. And the way to think about it is, industry standards, they take 20% of the artist's income. So if they're really good at their jobs and they've got 1,000 fans and they're spending £8.30 a month, it's 100 grand a year, they're thinking money and they're going, okay, I get a 20 grand bonus. For me as an artist, you're very attractive at that point. Can you do it beforehand? Absolutely. If you want the best of the best, that's where I cap it. I go, that's really where you need to be before looking at management. And then once you've got the manager, the booking agent, your label, but there's a lot more artist guys that are staying independent and they don't want to give it away. They don't want to give away 20%, and they are kind of building a team of consultants around them, but keeping everything in their name, and that's brilliant. I think the more of that, the better.
I think we're sort of doing that to an extent as well, in the way that where we're working alongside you guys. We're now working alongside Hellfire as well, more on the booking side of things. What we're trying to do now is create essentially a scalable product. So we know our processes for songwriting, we know our processes for demoing and getting in the studio, we know what our sound's going to be like when we go after it. What I think we're now in that stage in between the two realities almost of like, okay, we had no idea, and now we're on the way to having an idea, is that we now need to just get around the country and get in front of more and more people. So the kind of people we're bringing on board are the people we think can help us to do that, which is just get in front of more faces, get more ears to our product.
And you guys are a live band. The best thing for you guys is here. But it's our job on the digital marketing side to make sure when you're going to those cities, you've got people there and they want to come and they want to see it, because then the atmosphere is a lot better. For you guys, if you were to get, a top level manager, I'd be saying to them, go to a gig. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to my emails. Go and see them live. And I think that's the best approach.
Absolutely, especially in the rock world, man. I mean, it has to be that way. I've always thought this: if a rock band is better on production, they're not really a rock band. It's a bit snobby to say, isn't it? But, yeah, it makes sense with pop and stuff because it's more centered around lots of interesting sounds that are created in a studio in a sort of digital environment as well a lot of the time. But I think with rock, it has to be raw, and you have to be able to do something live that just keeps people excited.
Well, guys, this is a question for you. I've seen so many stars like being blown up from TikTok or YouTube, but they've never performed live. They're putting them on like massive stages at Coachella in London, and they're stood there on stage like this, shaking. There's no stage presence. I'm thinking, who has let that happen? To throw them into that, you've got to work on your craft.
That's
I mean, whether it's a rock band, solo act, it happens. I've seen so many horror stories, and that's just knocked them for six. It's like if they were nurtured properly, and that's the hardest thing I think for a musician is enjoying that process, because it's always what's next. It's always compare this. It's always right, and you need to have that attitude if you're going to make it. You need to have it, but enjoy it along the way. Like try and enjoy those moments.
I spent a lot of time sort of reading books like I read Ozzy Osbourne's book, I've read Slash's book, even Meatloaf, artists like that, and all of them say the same thing. I think you two are famous for saying it. You've got to perform to like rooms of 8 to 10 people, and if you can do it in there, you can do it on a stadium if you're used to it. But yeah, a lot of bands seem to try and skip that phase, and I think it's so important to be able to handle that kind of crowd before you go into scaling that up. And I'm quite proud that we've sort of done that. We've started to really cut our teeth on, definitely in the south and southwest of the UK, of just like these smaller gigs that are really intimate, and there's so much pressure to get something right, because if one person's not enjoying it, that's 10% of the room, so that's quite significant. Whereas on these bigger shows, if one person's enjoying it, not to sound rude or anything, but that is going to be a significantly lower figure than any other when it comes to the larger shows.
I remember speaking to Don Broco and Rob Damiani, and he's like, mate, we play every show like it's Wembley. Fast forward 5 years and they're playing Wembley. And they've really meant it. I mean, they've really, I've seen them play in front of a few people. I've seen them play in front of huge crowds. Brilliant live band, and they've taken it very seriously. And yeah, it's got to be done.
Don Broco, yeah, we saw them recently. I was with Stevie, our guitarist. He's unfortunately not here today. He's busy, but we went to see him, and we were trying to work out, because the singer was in a neck brace. We were trying to work out if it was like a fashion statement or if he'd really hurt his neck. And nowhere else would you ever sort of have that conversation, I think. But it did turn out he'd really hurt his neck, which is awful. But it took about a half hour to realise that.
Rob's a big guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's built, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, it could be like it kind of looks like something in the indie style. It could be, could be a fashion icon. Yeah, it was like, I was like, I don't know what I was thinking.
You're still performing as well with a broken neck or whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, damn right.
Pretty hardcore.
I think if you enjoy doing it this much, and there's a lot of bands that will enjoy what they're doing, but they won't go out of their way to do it as much. Like we'll play shows even when we're making a loss at this point, and obviously as it becomes more and more full time, that financial viability might change. But at this point, it's like you've got to take these shows because you love doing it, because it's a really hard grind. It's one of the hardest things you can do, I think, is make a performing act that is actually profitable and you can live off of. So you gotta want to do it that much, even if your neck's buggered. You gotta want to get up there on stage and do it, I think.
For sure. And what I love about bands like Don Barocco and the Laurie Winners, and there's some amazing ones, is the way they treat their super fans. And this is something that's like, really key with platforms like Discord. It's like the Laurie Winners have 2,000 or 3,000 people in a Facebook group called the Laurie Winners Fan Club. And the majority of that band's income comes from that group. because they're the people that get all of their mates to the shows. They buy every single bit of merch. They are so loyal compared to the hundreds of thousands of followers they have. It's that 2 or 3K that really drives it. And seeing that, I was like, I think it was about 2-3 years ago I saw it, and I was like, wow, it explains it. It really explains it. And their growth has been phenomenal. It's the same with John Broco. I mean, they've been so good with fans and that personal touch. I think a lot of bands, when they get bigger, do lose naturally. Yeah, fantastic, guys.
Absolutely. Callum, I'll pass back over to you, mate.
We can probably go with what do you think is one of the most important things that bands aren't doing, which they should always be doing? It's something you always see bands not doing.
It's such a great question. For me, there's not enough bands making networking connections. And I say this to a lot of artists. I go, have you got the best music you can possibly make? Have you gone to people and really, really kind of got their opinion on it, people you trust? They go, yes. I go, how seriously do you take marketing? Are you growing? Are you doing it every week? Are you engaging a fan base? They go, yes. I go, how many managers and booking agents do you know? And they come back saying 0. And I go, okay, right, there is brilliant networking events all across the country. LMS UK, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this yet, we're sponsoring AmpLed in London, which is an amazing organisation, led by Gavin, who used to be the Foo Fighters tour manager. But it's so critical. It's so critical because it will open doors, as it did for me in LMS UK's career. I did work. Who was it for? I did work for a small artist who was on the same label as Fatboy Slim, who recommended me to Pete Tong, who got me in with George Ezra from one connection, from one manager. And this is my point with artists. It's like, okay, you've got the music. Most bands have that. And if it's genuinely really good to a level, fantastic. They then really miss out on the marketing. And once they've gone that, they're going, oh, I should be big now. And then they don't have that network behind them. So I think, even splitting it down into roles in the band and go, right, go on LinkedIn, find managers, right? You're going to go to an event where there's booking agents. You're going to go speak to some labels. Even if it's not the route you want to go down, these people will get you on tours that, I hate, it's so cliche, isn't it? Your net worth is your network. But I think in this industry being so clicky, I think a lot of artists get let down.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah, very true. I mean, we've had a few really good anecdotal examples of that, to be honest. Like me and Aaron, we helped out with Nozfest down in Southampton, a festival kind of fairly local to us, but it's doing well, expanding every year. Through that, we've gathered a few connections without even meaning to. We were just helping as stagehands, just trying to help the show flow and make it easy for the bands to get on and off. And you see their appreciation from that. They want to chat to you. We have a few drinks with them and all that. And also from that, we managed to get our sort of the booking agent we're now working with, Katie. So it's worth doing, just like sometimes just putting yourself out there and just even trying to make an event. Like, I'm not saying we're trying to make that event better because it's amazing, but just trying to do our bit to make it easier and flow, just so that it's so much more fun. Yeah.
Well, karma comes back around, boys. You help out and it will come back to you. I do believe in that. I really do.
Big shout out to Jodie on that one, by the way, for having us along there. Yeah, so what I was going to ask, actually, so I don't know, I think it's a bit of a 180 for you, but so you guys are based in Portsmouth in a pretty cool location. Is there anything that sort of drove you to Portsmouth? Because obviously most musicians would assume the London bubble is the place to be.
Guys, I was this close to moving to London. Like, genuinely, 19 years old, like so close because of that thought process. And I think that I've got an amazing mentor called Jeff from Big Hug Management, and Jeff kind of went, Josh, it's all virtual now, especially the career you're going into. It's all virtual. So get to London, go once a month, meet the right people. Absolutely. I was with Nels from BBC Radio 1 last week, who's incredible. I mean, the fans he's pulling through it are insane. And he was like, you can do it virtually. And we were doing really well in Portsmouth. And I was weighing it up. And the tipping point was, we've got this office space at Portsmouth Guildhall. They're opening up the basement where they're going to put a free to use, but for youngsters, full recording studio, full DJ set, full office space, completely free for the youngsters, and all that's good. And then obviously I was an entrepreneur, the youngest ever entrepreneur in residence at the University of Portsmouth. So I do a lot of free talks, teach them about entrepreneurship and the music industry, which I love doing. And in return, I get the facilities. So I thought, I was like, okay, so what is this? We've got access to an amazing recording studio. We've got access to a full TV studio. We've got the brand new smart screen, £7 million, that I can bring through and put artists on. The students get experience. My artists get a load of free content. And it's just increasing. So for me, I weighed it up and I thought, we're going to stay. We're going to stay, because I had no ambition of being a company that grew just down the south or just national. I've always wanted to be international, because I think in our community on the Discord, as you boys know, it's amazing having people from America, Australia, Canada, Germany, all from different genres, all help each other, because there's been so many key contacts that have been pulled that you would never even think of or even imagine bringing that in. And I think that's a huge advantage of us. We work with 200 handpicked, brilliant musicians. Of that 200, they're all around the world. And I think that's a very special thing that I don't see competitors keeping up on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah, fantastic, and yeah, well answered there. I mean, we've found, from my own personal experience, I've worked in a few different bands and done bits here and there, and every time we go to London, it's completely different. So I'm kind of glad to see this London bubble starting to pop. I think in the digital age, it's necessary.
People are waking up to it, and even from you guys, like, I know you guys speak to Electron a lot, unbelievable bands, and connecting with these people. And like I said, it's not just here in person in London. A lot of the big top industry contacts are moving to your Manchesters, your Brightons. They're getting out. So yeah, but it'd be really interesting in the next 10 years if that's still a thing. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm keeping tabs on that. I got personal vendetta against London, so I'm quite. Every time we go there, I get charged for bloody everything. So I'm glad to see it fall apart. Sodom, charging me for oxygen, you buggers. Callum, back to you, mate.
You're talking about your connections with everything you have on like Discord. Like, how vital is Discord with the company? Because a lot of people have this like, kind of view of Discord not being as professional as it is, even though it can be like an amazing tool to use to connect everyone together. Crazy.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think that what I'm seeing in the last 2-3 years is people want less professional and they want more personable. And I think we're seeing that with things like TikTok. Before it was all very suits and LinkedIn and bringing things together, and that's still important. But actually, because we've spent thousands on equipment, you won't be able to see it all. It's all down here. But the most viral videos are just on your phone, like this, in the kitchen at home. But it's showing a shift that people want real, they want authentic. And I think Discord's a great platform to do that. And it's a question I sit down with my management team a lot and go, is it the right platform? Is it the best place? Is this the cutting edge of what we want for our artists? And we have this debate. Do we create our own things? Do we use Discord? And we're always weighing it up. But I can really comfortably say it. For the rest of this year, 100%, we're committed with Discord. And I'm finding a lot more musicians are using it and know about it, and they're involved. I did a big talk at Ditto at the O2 in London, and there was a massive topic of conversation there. And I think that shows the shift. But platforms change. Will we be on it on 10 years? Unlikely. It will always shift, and there'll always be a new thing coming out, and staying ahead of that innovation is going to be important.
Yeah, so I'm so surprised that Discord's not a bigger tool, really. I think the only reason maybe just investors and promotion, really, because Zoom obviously took the market when it came to the lockdowns, but I think that was down to partnerships and promotion more than anything else. They were in major corporates that then obviously were using it, and then you go to use it personally because that's what you know. Discord, though, seems to be so much more flexible. We use it all the time for even when we're just hanging out gaming with friends. We've got our server set up with the Regional One, close friends and fans as well. And there's so much that can be done with it. And I think musicians out there who are listening right now should probably get yourself a Discord account sorted and start learning the ropes. It's 100%. Increasingly important.
Yeah, and again, I think it comes down to people want personal. They want to know about you and your gaming. They want to go see it. I just think people are really feel genuinely warmth towards that. And I think that is what Discord does really well, is that community.
Absolutely. So we actually came up and visited the LMS UK offices a little while back.
You've been on these sofas?
We've been on the casting couch. Yeah, it's fantastic. It was really nice to come on up. So, Aaron, I don't know if you wanted to sort of give a highlight of the day that we had there.
Certainly, yeah. So we obviously travelled up, met the team, sort of had a bit of a stroll around Portsmouth as well, which is nice. Sort of got to see the backstage, if you like, of sort of how obviously everything gets run on your end. Yeah, it was just really great to sort of experience it all. And otherwise, it's just like you said, it's just that distance of doing this sort of thing. So coming up, meeting everyone was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, look, you're never going to replace human contact, and people want to be people. Like, people are so worried about AI, but humans want to work with humans.
Absolutely,
and it should be real, and it should be nice. And I'm always proud to show off the team, because I know how. When Catherine accepted this job offer 3-4 years ago, I couldn't believe it, boys. I kind of did it and was like, "There's no way, there's no way." She said yes, and I knew how much of an impact she would have. Adam, I think, is just absolutely sensational. He's very good at the technology side, where I lack. I'm a one-trick pony, and that's contacts. What those two do is much more complex, and a different place it is, and it just works. It works. We've got some hot desking, we've got our bean bags, and the team love coming in. And I've given all my team that freedom. And we hire people on purpose. They love music. They love progressing artists. And I say to people, if you're doing a great job, you're hitting our KPIs, the artists are receiving that celebrity standard of service. You want to work from home, work from home. You want to come in the office, come in the office. You choose your hours. As long as the client's happy, we're happy. Give people that freedom. And we've had, and guys, Cheryl, who gone from a big corporate job full of males that she hated to this. And if we're being truthful, it's taken probably a big pay cut there, but she loves it. And she's done really well from us and got that team leader. I wouldn't be able to attract that talent if it wasn't for that philosophy. And that's why I love artists coming down to Portsmouth and doing the radio with me, or TV show, or coming here in the office. And those opportunities are increasing now as well.
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely noticed when we were there as well. How chill everything was. We got to work with everybody, chat to them. Sort of, it's a really nice space that you all work in as well, and that definitely comes off to the artists, I think.
Trust, guys. Like, it's trust. If people aren't hitting standards, we don't sit there and shout at them. We'll go, "What can we do to support? This is where we are. You need to match it." And I'll be honest, some people do fall short of that, and they don't stay around. But the people that hit it excel, and they love the way we work. They really buy into what we do, and I've got the best team. I genuinely mean that. I've got a phenomenal team.
Absolutely, yeah. Give a big shout out to Cheryl, actually, because we work with Cheryl quite closely, and what we get from it really is like such a almost a personal investment in the story of our band from her as well. So it's very much she's paying attention every day of the week to what we're up to, and sort of like how, looking for little ways we can improve what we're doing, any little ideas for content as well. We'll throw a load of ideas her way. She'll send them all back in an organized fashion.
I said to Adam, I said, "These boys are fucking brilliant. They need someone that will give them a slap on the wrist if they don't." Yeah. And I was like, "Cheryl." I knew.
That is precisely it. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we like. If we miss deadlines, we need to be told. Something. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And Cheryl's been fantastic with that, and absolutely, she helps so much when it comes to some of the edits as well. So. I mean, for us, it's there. She is in the comments. That's me. Yes. Hey, I'll pin that one. There we go. But yeah, no, I think we're getting a lot from this, and this relationship that's built between LMS and Regional One personally has been really, really handy. And I'm excited for what we're doing in the future.
People like Cheryl, who like, she's come in, she's already a team leader, she's progressed so much with us. It's just fantastic to see, and we jump on the Monday call, and we've got a results channel. I've done this for this size, it just rubs off. It's genuinely infectious, and you come into work and you're just excited. I just come in on a Monday morning, like really genuinely excited to see what Cheryl's got up to and what I just doing what, and keeping tabs on everything. And it's across the board, it's phenomenal. Like, honest, I love who I work with. I love what I do, and I love who I work with, and I genuinely mean that. And people go, "You're going to start a social media agency for recruiters and earn 10 times money." I don't care.
Yeah, that's the dream, really. If you can get by and enjoy it, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Callum, back to you, mate.
Back to me. We can do a little fun one, I suppose.
I suppose.
In no particular order. Who are your favourite 5 artists you have at LMS?
LMS.
LMS. I was gonna leave it at artists. That was.
Oh, we can do both. When we do 3 from LMS and favourite 2 ever, or the other way around, or 2 from LMS, 3 favourite artists.
That's such a hard question on so many levels.
You have to diplomat your way out of this one.
I'm thinking. My personal favourite artist, and I've got to be completely honest, is Arctic Monkeys. Getting to work with them twice was just phenomenal. And I genuinely was like, the first time was incredible. The fact they invited me back was just another level. And then second, it'd be really tough. I've got 5 albums, which I just think are perfect all the way through. And that's Catfish and the Bomb Men, Plan B, The Kooks. And I love that. And we've got a vinyl up here. Favorite artists we work with? That is an unbelievable question. Guys, I couldn't. I just I'm even trying.
I think Cheryl has summed it up quite well in the comments. She says that's like asking who is your favorite child if you had kids. Yeah.
No, honestly, I love it, and every time I can go out to meet shows, and Cheryl's the exact same. We go. Like this Saturday I was at Icebreaker. The week before I was in London for Elizabeth Liddell. Before that we were going to see Film Force. So if I can get to shows, I love it, and I always try and make time for it. And having that, you guys come in, and once you've met them and you have that personal touch, rather than just on Zoom, it does feel a little bit deeper. I have to be honest.
Always. I think I've got a slight sort of variation on that question that's been put in the comments here by, I don't know if it's Luke or Luke Q. Question for Josh: who is your favorite personality hire at LMS UK?
Oh, Luke is amazing. Like, honestly, I've not had an account specialist that makes me laugh more. I just honestly, like, Luke is her. I can't explain. How do I describe Luke? She's like a firework, right? So you're going, and it's bang, and it's colourful, and it's great. But she's amazing, and her clients speak so highly of her. She's so personable. I came in one day, boys. I'm having one of those days where everything's stressful and everyone's problems are your problems. You want to sort out, and there's just a huge box of Krispy Kreme donuts that Luke bought, like sent from bloody Manchester. I'm like, wow. Like, again, I've not had that before, and I think when you're a startup founder, it's really hard, and for years didn't pay myself, and 6-hour days, 15 hours. To now get through that and be at the point we're at and have people like Luke in the business be so kind and so lovely is just, it means everything. And then it means a lot to the team and Catherine and Adam. And, when you go through all the hard bits and then you get something like that, it's like, it's special. It means more.
Absolutely. Luke says donuts for everyone. Fantastic. No, that's great. I mean, I do think something a lot of modern workplaces seem to be missing now is that sort of personal touch, to be honest. I've worked in a few different corporates and different huge companies, and like you meet people and you get to know people a little bit, but it's all very surface level. So what it sounds like you guys have got as a company is absolutely, I mean, it's just a route to success to me, that it's like an inevitable success when you can work alongside people who are so like-minded and can look out for you on a personal level as well as sort of a business level. That's fantastic.
Listen, I think that comes first. It's that personal touch. The standards these guys have are just incredible. It's so good. And when you've got that, it's a really special place. And I think you see that. I mean, it's rare for people to leave LMS UK. Like, we stay, and I'm just so grateful. Words can't describe how lucky we are to have all of them. And yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely fantastic. Luca has chimed in. LMS UK is the best company I've ever worked for. Great team. There you go.
Yeah. Love that, Luke. Love that.
Fantastic. So we'll look at starting to wrap it up fairly soon. Before that, Callum, have you got one more question, and then I'll give us the old wrap.
Well, we can do a lightning round. I've prepared a lightning round.
A lightning round. Oh. Okay.
Look at this. So you're watching the stream. I've used our entire production budget for this.
All £0.
Here we go. Lightning round.
Delay for us. I want to
boom.
See Hell yeah.
I
Nice.
can't see it, guys.
Oh, it'll be on the
Sorry,
show.
you'll see it when you inevitably watch this back. Hopefully.
Let's come back to this bit.
Views.
The lightning round. Here we go.
Yeah.
Go up again and do it on demand whenever I want.
Lightning. Oh, he's going again.
Okay.
Hey, that's kind of like a fun. I don't want to say too much, but we worked on a little project this weekend. I'm gonna boast actually. We filmed 7 music videos in 8 hours this weekend. It's got to be a world record. There's nothing like that. You've never. That's unheard of that. But one of the music videos will be coming this week. If anybody saw the little teaser drop yesterday, keep an eye out. Tell all your friends. Mixed signals, but yeah, the font's somewhat like that. So that was a good little plug. Cheers for that, Cal.
Okay, lightning round. Here we go.
Lightning round.
What song would you have played at your funeral?
I would have "You Two Beautiful Day."
Good song. Great song. Another lightning round. Lightning round. Question again.
Are we all doing those, Cal? We should all do those, including yourself.
Well, I've got another one. Let me do one more. Come on.
Okay. All right.
If you weren't at LMS, what would you be doing now?
I would be. Oh, what would I be? A music lecturer.
Definitely.
That's a good one.
Have you got one?
No, I meant we should all answer them, but that's okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fucked it, mate.
Okay, so what would you have at you played at your funeral then, Simon?
Oh, now I've got to think.
Lightning round.
I just went in. I wasn't thinking about it.
Avenged Sevenfold, Little Piece of Heaven.
That's a bit weird.
If you know it, that's why, yeah.
Whoa.
That's for those who know that one. What would you have, Aaron?
Yeah.
So I'd have the music from the animated Mr. Bean series.
Very nice. Anyone in chat, if you want to tell us what music you'd have playing at your funeral, we'll get to know you a little more.
Well, I think.
Is that the lightning round over? Or are you just playing with your door?
No, my cat was just sat there. I didn't see him get. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else have we got? I don't know.
This is where we unravel
Lightning.
toward the end. We just sort of lose it.
Yes. Oh, I got a good one. Here we go. Where can people find you? Where's the best place for people to find you?
At LMS UK. All over Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, website. It's where we're all at. And if anyone's got personal questions they want me to answer, Joshua Robinson 98. I'm always happy to help when I can.
Brilliant stuff. I've got one more question before I think we're thinking of wrapping up. But for obviously all the bands, but obviously people that might be listening, any musician out there, what would you say right now is the best tool for marketing your music?
TikTok.
It's a sad truth.
TikTok, yeah. And it's something that people didn't take seriously 3 years ago, but it is, and it's just, it will, if it does well and it picks up a little bit of engagement in its first post, it will show it to your exact audience 100,000 times, and people just go viral with one video, and it can genuinely make your career. Genuinely, and so many bands, artists hate it, and they hate it, and I understand that, but I go, promise you, if you want genuine, real growth, my favourite's Instagram, boys, and I'm always very transparent about that. I love Instagram. I think it's more, people will click at your profile and really look at it. TikTok's more just swiping through, of course, but yeah.
It's a lot more chance, I suppose, of sort of catching a video and liking it, where you're scrolling through every 2 seconds.
Big numbers.
That's it.
Big numbers.
Great stuff.
All right, just to wrap it up, Luke has said, well, she's asked, what's your skincare routine? But I suggest maybe making a video on the LMS UK website for your skincare routine at some point. I think the audience for that will be
a TikTok.
Pretty wide, so it's worth giving that a thought. Thank you for that, Luke. I can't keep up with all those comments, but thank you very much for commenting, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you this evening, Josh, and hopefully we'll see you soon. We're aiming to get up to Portsmouth and get a show up there sometime. So anyone watching, if you're interested in LMS UK, do check them out on all the social medias. Check them out on Instagram, check them out on TikTok. Get to know what they do. Start thinking about this kind of thing if you're taking this seriously as a career choice. It is it's very useful. We found it very useful. And a lot of the bands that we've met through LMS UK have been key contacts for us recently. So Really think about it. It's been absolutely fantastic speaking with you again this evening. Everyone from LMS in the chat, and of course yourself, Josh. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. I didn't even press end the live video.
Oh.
I'm just gonna keep.
Dun, dun,
There you go. It's over.
dun.
That was a good one.
Good stuff.
Doodles.
All done. Yeah, you can come on in, Bubba.
Boom. Are you sure?
Right,
Are you
chaps.
sure?
I'm gonna go eat and stuff.